guys. Welcome.
Well, the Democrats finally did it, didn't they?
Hey, I'm Thomas Rhett. Did you know that thanks to Marathon Rewards, you could be earning rewards on every fuel purchase up to 5 transactions a day?
A director in ensuring that MPD investigates, the U.S. Attorney prosecutes this case to the fullest extent of the law. I've had the opportunity to brief U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, who was speaking to the president when I called, as well as the United States Attorney Pirro, who assured me that this case will have her office's complete attention. Chief.
Sure. So no, at this time there's no indication that there was any other suspect. The one suspect that was involved in this incident, they were shot during the interaction and they were transported to the hospital for treatment.
What we know, Andrea, is that this is a targeted shooting. One individual who appeared to target these guardsmen, that individual has been taken into custody.
Can you tell us any more details on the condition of the two National Guardsmen and whether or not anyone else was injured? And a quick question for the FBI director. You said that we'll make sure we find the perpetrators for this act. So just to clarify, the person believed to be responsible is in custody and there are no other suspects.
Sure, so I can start out. Again, Chief Carroll from MPD. So both of the individuals, the guard members, they are in critical condition in a local hospital at this time being treated. At this point, we have no other suspects. We have reviewed video from the area. It appears, like I said, to be a lone gunman that raised a firearm and ambushed these members of the National Guard, and he was quickly taken into custody by other National Guard members and law enforcement members.
Have you got any sense of motive?
No, at this time, obviously, we're very in the preliminary stages.
He should have been killed at the scene.
A lot of agents that are here from various federal agencies, law enforcement agencies. We have the full power of the FBI.
Should have been killed at the scene.
Task force. So we're looking at all those different aspects, but we don't have any motive. The National Guardsmen that were shot, I'm told they were armed. At this time, as part of the preliminary investigation.
Can you explain how the suspect was
Chief.
Sure. So how the suspect was apprehended, as I said, the individual, the suspect came around the corner. He immediately started firing a firearm at the two National Guard members. So at that time, there were other National Guard members that were in the area. They heard the gunfire. They actually were able to intervene and to kind of hold down the suspect after he had been shot on the ground until law enforcement got there within moments. At this point, we're still investigating exactly who shot the individual. It's not clear at this time. We don't know what kind of weapon. There was DC police. It happened right in front of the Metro, although there is no indication that the perpetrator was on the Metro. So there's Metro Transit Police in the area, and obviously being on 17th Street by the White House, Uniform Division of Secret Service were in the immediate area as well. We do not know at this time. It's still under investigation.
Thank you, Andrea. We're going to be able to take a couple more.
Sure. Again, so as I said, we're very preliminary in the investigation, so we're looking to all aspects of who the individual is, his connections. At this time, he's still in the hospital receiving treatment.
And I would just like, hang on.
At this point right here, I don't care about democracy.
The reason that this suspect
I don't care if they go into if they don't go into
extensive training, secure
Congress and they debate this. I don't give two shits. That motherfucker needs to die.
of law enforcement, the interagency,
He
the
shot.
Department of War, and
He
the National
shot
Guard
two National
executed their
Guard
training with
troops.
great
He needs.
precision
He
today
needs.
and
He
prevented an
needs
even
to be
greater tragedy
executed.
from befalling us. These
There is
National
no.
Guardsmen are
That is
heroes,
seditious
and we
right
must
there,
pray
all
for
by
their
itself.
safety and
That
their
is
speedy recovery.
execution.
And as the chief said, we are in the preliminary stages of this investigation. We will run
I don't
down
give two
every
shits.
single lead, every piece of evidence. This is the power of the U.S. government at its best at the state, local, and federal level. That is why this interagency group is standing behind us to assure America and the world that we will continue to keep D.C. safe. And thankfully, we have Metropolitan Police Department, the National Guardsmen, and federal agents, and the Department of Justice and Attorney General willing to prosecute the mission to keep Americans safe. And President Trump has rightly stated that this heinous act will be investigated, and he has thanked the National Guardsmen and women and the men and women of law enforcement.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
The suspect saying is at the time, why did the West Virginia governor say that they were chief? Was anyone else shot besides the two?
Have the families been notified?
General, what about the unconstitutional
I'll take that. Thank you.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
I think that. Let me check this real quick.
That box, that gray box that you have.
And the corridor.
No, core, I keep it.
All right. Let's see if we can find any more. Let's see if we can find any more. Oh. Let's go ahead and do that right there. They need to change. They need to change that right there because that's false. JD needs to change that because that's false.
The moment you pledge to serve, the USO promised to be with you.
Were shot this afternoon less than a mile from the White House, and we now can report they have died. West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey announcing the news on X, writing in part, "It is with great sorrow that we can confirm both members of the West Virginia National Guard who were shot earlier today in Washington, D.C. have passed away from their injuries. These brave West Virginians lost their lives in service of their country." President Trump condemning the act, writing on Truth Social, "The animal that shot the two National Guardsmen is also severely wounded, but regardless will pay a very steep price. God bless our great National Guard and all of our military and law enforcement. These are truly great people.
See,
I, as President of the United
we're
States, and
getting a
everyone
lot of
associated with the
conflicting-
office of the presidency,
We're getting a
and with
lot of
you."
conflicting stuff going
D.C.
on
police
here.
confirming that a suspect is in custody.
Because-
The president is now in Florida at his Mar-a-Lago estate, while the White House is in lockdown. And FBI Director Kash Patel says the FBI is engaged in assisting with the investigation. Fox News correspondent Mark Meredith is on the scene, and he joins us now. Mark, what's the update?
Yeah, I don't think that's correct. Until I actually see it, that's the problem with our media, man. Like, our media just sucks ass so bad. Like, they freaking suck so bad. Because that's 1 hour ago. This is streamed 15 seconds ago. It says video unavailable. See, I don't trust that. I don't trust that. Let me go ahead and refresh it. Let's see here. Let's go. Fox News. Because I don't trust CNN or CBS or MSNBC. Fox Business. So it's all the same crap. Let's go to Newsmax. That's 1 hour ago. Oh my goodness. Anyways, so if we've got National Guard troops being shot in Washington, D.C. because our stupid freaking congressmen and congresswomen and senators can't keep their flipping mouth shut. Like they can't keep their mouth shut. Let's see, 1 hour ago. Here we go. Go to theater mode. Is that? I don't think it's mine. There we go. Let's go to the live broadcast.
Nope. Just like look at that was on national television just now. Oh, that's hilarious. So embarrassing.
Are they done as well? Let's reload it. Apparently so. Okay. I don't think they were murdered, guys. I don't think they've been killed. At least I'm not sure yet.
What you wear matters. Buy local.
I hate ads. There's another ad. How many are they going to push on me? All right, there we go.
The male that he's in the hospital suffering from a gunshot or multiple gunshot wounds, that if they know who he is, they're going to start getting an idea from his profiles, his online activity, if there is any, what his beef, if there was a beef, was, or they may just find out this is a person who was in crisis and unfortunately was armed and for whatever reason took it out on the National Guard troops. But again, in this whole area around Farragut North Metro, Farragut West Metro, the Farragut Square, Lafayette Square, I mean, you're basically talking kind of almost anything north of Constitution and south of DuPont Circle in this area, say from 15th to 18th, you just can't come or go. I mean, you can see they are escorting some people, and maybe Brian will be one of them shortly, to get their cars out. But it is still a wide perimeter of a crime scene here, and it just the sense we get from the Armed Secret Service, you see U.S. Park Police, Metro Transit Police, D.C. Police, this thing is going to go on for some time. So for those who are directly impacted, they know that compared to life and death, it may not be the biggest thing, but this part of downtown Washington, including the White House, which remains on lockdown, it is a mess tonight, guys.
Bob, we know a very active investigation there at this hour, 3 hours after this shooting happened. We know Reagan National had issued a ground stop for security reasons. So this is impacting so much more than just that immediate area. But we also know and want to mention that the President Trump, and First Lady have already gone down to Florida. They left for the Thanksgiving holiday yesterday. Yeah. So despite them not being there, again, the White House is still on lockdown at this hour. We want to go now to our Josh Rosenthal, who is at that scene, or as close as you can get, Josh, on 16th and I. Josh?
Yeah, just about, guys. We want to give you a little bit of a different vantage point. Bob is a couple blocks in that direction. I'm standing
I've seen several different.
So if you look up in this direction, you're looking up I Street.
Reports that
one block up past that crime tape, if
they
you can
actually
see it, that is
died,
the crime
but I don't
scene. That's where
think
these
that's
National
accurate.
Guards
I
members
think
were shot. As you can see, it's still a very active crime
I think it hasn't
scene.
been
We've seen a lot of police
yet.
coming and going since we've been out here for the past couple hours. One change that we've noticed since the last time we came to you live is now it does appear as though some general traffic is coming through too. So perhaps some streets near the crime scene, not at the crime scene, of course, but nearby,
they're
have been opened up.
speculating.
Now, if you come over in this direction, we want to be careful because that traffic's flowing again. You can see.
And I don't get why people speculate like that.
That's
Stop
the White
speculating.
House. That's how close this was to where it all happened. And of course, for months now, this is an area where we have seen a lot of members of the National Guard patrol. Now, follow me over in this direction. I want to introduce you to Melanie. Melanie, thank you so much for joining me. Melanie is in a familiar position to a lot of people down here tonight. Of course, the most important thing is what transpired, the condition of the National Guard members, but another part of this story is how everyone else is being impacted by it as well. Melanie, you told me you were just leaving work, walking by. First of all, what's your reaction to seeing all this?
I'm just shocked. I can't get to my car. I'm parked just a few feet away, and I don't know how I'm going to get home.
Which is another part.
That's
of
what
story.
she's worried
this
about.
Is a very, very busy area.
That's
you
what
have
she's
people
worried
getting
about.
off
She's
work.
worried about.
You also have a lot of
her
people who
car
come
that's
down
parked
here to DC
just
for the holidays.
walking
We
distance.
spoke
That's
to
what
a
she's
couple
worried
people
about.
earlier who said that they were just here to spend a night in
Some
DC.
people,
a lot of them can no longer get to their vehicles because they're too close to the crime scene. Melanie, first of all, I'm sorry to hear that. Has anybody talked to you? Have you been given any guidance?
No, not yet. I just came from work and I came here. I saw the crowd and the cameras, and I just don't know what to do. I was planning to ask around to see what to do. So in terms of getting home.
I'm really sorry. If we get information, I will be sure to bring it to you. The other thing I will mention
That's
here,
a Democrat.
from so many people, is that this would be difficult.
She doesn't
no
give two
matter when it
shits about those
happened.
National Guard
It's especially difficult given that
members.
Thanksgiving is tomorrow and the holidays are
She
coming
doesn't
up,
care.
right?
That's
She-
correct.
that's a
I was
typical
on my way
Democrat.
home to start my weekend, to start the holiday, and now I don't know what time I'm going to get home.
We're thinking about you. Thank you so much for speaking to us, and good luck with everything. And also, of course, guys, tonight we're thinking about these two members of the National Guard who were shot here,
we're
who
thinking
officials
about
tell
the
us
members of the
are in
National
critical
Guard.
condition.
She wasn't.
One more thing,
She
if
was
you could walk up this
more
way,
worried about herself
Jesse
and her
Burkett Hall doing a great job. That is
stomach.
the crime scene here tonight. It does appear as though some of these roads are a little bit more open than they had been previously, but still a lot of activity and a very active crime scene and investigation that is ongoing. Guys, for now, back to you.
All right, Josh, thank you. To Josh's point, this is a very densely charged area. I mean, we're talking about from civilians to offices to law enforcement, so close proximity to the White House. So already that area is so full of people normally. Now, this is like the day before the holidays, so some people still trying to get out of the city, others coming into the city. Here's what we know so far. So we know 2 National Guardsmen have been shot. They are in critical condition tonight. They were essentially targeted by a suspect who came around the corner, started shooting. There was some kind of an exchange. That suspect was taken to the ground and was taken into custody. Those 2 guardsmen now at a local hospital. Huge police presence in the area. We just heard Mayor Bowser speak. Also, the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, saying that this is prompting 500 additional National Guardsmen to now come into the city to increase that force, that federal force that we've been seeing over the last several months.
Oh yeah, it's going to be increased now.
All over the country.
Y'all did it.
From West Virginia. We want to go to a
y'all Democrats did this
soundbite,
shit,
right?
So now there's going to
Actually,
be like thousands more of them in there.
Has been on
thousands
the scene,
more guards.
For hours now, just after this news broke.
And I guarantee
Julie, you were initially
it's not
right
going to
there
stop
on the scene
there.
at 17th and I pushed back as police
President Trump
expanded
could
the
he
perimeter.
could
We know
legitimately
that they said they have that
push
one
martial law at this
suspected
point.
shooter in custody. He was also injured
Just
in
over
some
that
way,
right there.
by gunfire when
And
the
if they
takedown
are
happened.
dead,
The 2 guards member that are currently in critical condition. Julie, what can you tell us about
gonna get
where you're at right now and what
bad.
you're seeing and what you're hearing?
Good for me, bad for the Democrats.
Right now, there's just it's kind of like the amount of people that were here earlier when we first got on the scene at 3 o'clock,
Sad,
and
man.
we were up
It really is
much
fucking
closer
sad.
on 17th Street, where you could kind of see the National Guard still standing around, and where the police were barricading off, and just very, very early, as even now they're still in preliminary parts of their investigation, but this was very early. I talked to some witnesses that said they heard it around about 2:15 in the afternoon. They heard what was gunfire. Many people kind of a little bit confused on what they were hearing as well. While it was gunfire, they thought it sounded kind of a little bit like fireworks. Some even said they thought maybe it was construction that was going on. And after that, there became a little bit of chaos. To my understanding, we have one of those witnesses, and let's hear from their account.
I was in the Uber. I heard right in front of 17th Street, and I heard boom, boom, 2 times. And then the Uber driver said, "Why are all these people running?" So then I look out the window, and it's little children, adults running, children on both sides of the street, running in the opposite direction. The supervision is saying to the children, "Go, go, run." And then I heard, "Help, help."
And we talked to somebody else earlier as well that was down here, and he said he was working in his office, and he heard 2 different rounds of shots going off, and they saw somebody that was pinned to the ground. And Stacy there said that the person was wearing a hoodie. But there's a lot of different accounts that we're trying to get from people to understand, as we are, just kind of what took place here and exactly why. Of course, they said that this was targeted. But there were so many people that were out here just kind of like trying to see what was going on. And a lot of people we talked to as well, while they're local, they're working here, they're are also people here that are on vacation. I mean, this is a holiday time, of course. We know D.C. is one of the top attractions in the country, and people coming out just trying to see the sights. In fact, I just ran into another couple that was from South Florida. Their daughter celebrating her 13th birthday up here. She said she was in her hotel room, and she saw everybody just running down the streets, police presence coming on in, and she was definitely a little scared. And her parents weren't in the hotel room with her until they got back to realize she is safe, she's okay, and they can continue on with their holiday plans here, but not without a disruption, because this is very disturbing for anybody that's here. I mean, there's a heavy presence of
one team. Our team.
Covering this case. There's a heavy presence of people just in curiosity as to what's going on. But as we're learning of the critical condition, and there's been a lot of different talk I've heard from very people who saw what was going on of exactly the extent of that. But we'll wait for, of course, more information as that does come out. But right now, the police presence is still on down the street, not as heavy as it was before. But this will, I'm sure, carry on for quite some time until we do get all the information that does come from tonight and from today's just unfortunate. I mean, when you really think about the heart of this, everybody's here to celebrate Thanksgiving, and now families are being told that their loved ones are not in a state to be able to celebrate with them on this day.
Julie, it has truly been devastating, I think, as everyone has been dealing with this. And again, you see that massive law enforcement presence out there, along with people who just live and work in that part of D.C. And so many people, as Julie mentioned, who are visiting from out of town or people who have returned home. It was a very chaotic scene when we first broke in around 2 o'clock to see so many people down there. And we've been hearing from the president, who is down at his resort in Palm Beach, Vice President J.D. Vance, who is in Kentucky. Again, so many people traveling for the Thanksgiving holiday. And now we want to hear from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth talking about adding more National Guard members in light of this shooting that happened just blocks away from the White House.
Heroes willing to serve in Washington, D.C., serve for people they don't know and they've never met because they love their country and their capital and their community. Someone decided to turn that into targeting National Guardsmen. That will only stiffen our resolve. We will never back down. We will secure our capital. We will secure our cities. In fact, this happened just steps away from the White House. We will not stand.
Yeah, the White House on lockdown. The President, First Lady at Palm Beach getting...
All right, so... I gotta fix something here. Well, I swear to God, man. Like, this is the world we live in today. Where our National Guard are not even safe in our own country. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? You know what that tells me? It tells me that people are freaking delusional. Delusional. Okay. I need to change something here. There it is. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So I need to change the name of that. How do I change the name of it? I forget how to change it. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I'm not happy about this. I think that I think they need to send in more troops, more National Guard, and I think they need to send in the Marines. And we need to just clean house. That's what I think. I think that we need to clean house. That is the only way. That is the only way that we are going to get rid of people who are doing the stupid shit that they doing. And that's a problem. It's a problem. It really is a flipping problem. And we need to fix that problem. We need to fix that problem. But we're not going to be able to fix that problem if we've got senators who are blocking our president at every single turn. You're not going to have stability. If these people are genuine about helping people, they would actually help instead of being dumbasses. I don't know. I'm really aggravated by I'm really aggravated by this. Genuinely. Let me see what Twitter's got going on here. This stuff right here. This is why right here. And President Trump calling the guy an animal that shot him, which they are. God. You need to go away. People like you need to go away. Look at you. Look at you. Married to Captain Mark Kelly. You need to go away. It's your husband that caused this. Your husband caused this kind of stuff right here. This is what your husband did. Your husband's rhetoric caused this. Let's go to trending right now. See, this is the kind of rhetoric right here. National Guard are Nazis. That's the kind of rhetoric we're talking about. All right. And because because of that, 2 National Guard members were shot in D.C. We still don't know if they're okay or not. See, I agree with this right here. Fully loaded M4s, M16s, 9mm, 45s, whatever they're carrying nowadays, they need to be fully armed. The rules of engagement are, God damn it, the rules of engagement are clear, okay? You get shot at, you shoot back, and you kill. You don't shoot to maim. Oh, no. You shoot to kill. You shoot to kill. That's how that goes. How about this right here? Here's another one. Hold up. I got it. Hold up.
Because look at these videos coming out of places like Chicago. It makes me incredibly nervous that we're about to see people in law enforcement, people in uniform military get nervous, get stressed, shoot at American civilians. It is a very, very stressful situation for these law enforcement and for the communities on the ground. So it was basically a warning to say, like, if you're asked to do something, particularly against American citizens, look at these videos coming out of places like Chicago. It makes me incredible.
That crap right there. That bitch right there. That bitch right there, one of the seditious 6. That's what they're going to remember. That's what they're going to be remembered as forever. Forever. This bitch right here, yeah, she needs it too. And it's going to continue, guys. It's going to freaking continue. Like, all this crap that they're showing right now is going to continue. See, here again, right here. CNN comparing National Guard to Hitler's Gestapo. This is the kind of crap. This is the kind of crap that happens consistently. There she is saying that American Guard and American National Guard and law enforcement will be shooting civilians in the streets. Oh, I actually got 150 views on that one. See, they keep saying that he passed away, but don't enforce fascism and you won't get shot. Antifa, you little faggots. Antifa and leftists on Blue Sky are celebrating the ambush shooting of the National Guard troops near the White House. They repeat the false claim being polarized by leftists that those troops are following illegal orders from the president. Are you fucking kidding me? Well, I swear to God, y'all motherfuckers are lucky that I'm on my damn medication. They're gonna double down on this shit. They're gonna double down on this shit. Look at this. Look at this crap, man. This is fucking just pathetic. What these people are, they're pathetic. They've never done anything good in their life. They're fucking pathetic. Every one of these fuckers right here need to go to jail for the rest of their lives. Every last one of them. Forever. They need to, yeah, they need to go to jail. Every last one of them need to go to jail. Oh, oh, these motherfuckers, man. Oh, they make me so goddamn mad. Democrat leaders and activists claim the National Guard is rounding up black people and putting them in detainment camps. Are you fucking retarded? Like, are you seriously fucking retarded? I think they are fucking retards. They are absolute fucking retards. We need to round them up. Throw their asses in jail. Man, this is why I don't like. I mean, this is why I really need to take a break from. I really need to take a break from politics. Like, absolute. I really need to take a break from politics. This makes me want to go out to Washington, D.C. and talk to some of these scumbags, man. I mean, not... ooh. I'm telling you right now, if I was in the military nowadays, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That piece of shit wouldn't have been alive, I can tell you that right now. That piece of shit that shot them would not be alive. He was on the ground, I would have kept firing. Fuck him. The seditious six right there. Those 6 motherfuckers are the ones that are to blame for all of this. All of it. They got blood on their hands. Literal blood. I would have broke his damn neck. This right here, see, suspect was then shot and National Guard subdued the suspect until federal agents arrived. That motherfucker would have been dead. He would have been dead before they got there. I can tell you that right now. Oops. Yeah, he would have been dead. That guy would have been dead for sure. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. 1 in the head and 2 in the chest. Now, see, this right here is already starting right here. Like, this is already, this right here is their narrative already. They're already starting this crap right here. Liberals are going to say the reason for those 2 National Guard troops were murdered is because Trump put them there. They won't blame the shooter, and you won't hear any of them calling for gun control. 100% watch. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. These people are fucking just dumb. Absolute dumbasses. See right here, they're already starting. Like right here, see this shit right here? They're already starting this dumbass. Look at this dumbass. He looks like a fucking dumbass. Fucking flick his little bing right in the fucking goddamn nostrils. I just don't get it. It is absolute rhetoric. Every bit of it. She said it. She said it out loud. She said it out loud. National Guard will start shooting citizens. Well, yeah, they shot one that shot them first. If I would have said something on TikTok about this already, I would have been shut down. Why do they get to say shit about this, but I don't get to say shit about this? Why? I guarantee you that somebody would have had me blocked or kicked off TikTok if I'd have said something about this earlier. I guarantee it. I guarantee you somebody would have said something to me about it. Apparently, this is the photo of the radicalized leftists who killed 2 National Guard soldiers in Washington, D.C. today. So this guy right here apparently is the guy that killed him. Oh, he's got a beard there. Dark hair. I wonder if he might be Muslim. I don't know. He looks Muslim from the pictures. But we're going to see now, aren't we? Now, aren't we? We're going to see. But he does look Muslim. I wonder if he screamed Allah Akbar before he shot him. Hold up. What? Yeah, what? What's up? What's up? You got a second Walmart order in? Okay. Okay. All right, guys. Let me
whether they should stay, and now they're saying that they will be adding 500 more. And so truly, I mean, just such a sad, tragic situation.
All right, I'll be back.
For this to have happened again on Thanksgiving Eve. So now let's go back out to our Bob Barnard, who has been outside of the White House, Lafayette Square, for the last several hours. Bob, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Homa, we've been speaking to people from all over the place. Locals who, the sentiment that I heard earlier, someone speaking to one of my colleagues saying that I was not happy, and I'm not happy that the National Guard is here on our streets, but this is awful. They're humans. They didn't deserve this. And a gentleman from Australia who said, I love coming to D.C. I come here every year. I can't believe this has happened. We are literally right behind my photographer, Doug Wilkes, is the perimeter of the White House complex. Right behind him is Lafayette Square, and then the White House just a little further back. But we're here to show you the scene here. This is looking north on Connecticut Avenue from H Street, and the roads are still closed. The White House is still on lockdown. We are seeing some people leave. Nobody's been allowed to enter the White House complex, which is more than just the White House and the grass and the fenced area around it. And there are others who are still stranded here, as Josh and others have spoken to, whose cars are parked inside the crime scene perimeter and can't get out. So that's kind of the way the situation is now, 3.5 hours after this shooting, and the nature of it. That's the question I think a lot of people have, is what was this all about? And were these guardsmen targeted because of who they are? And we just don't have those answers yet. But the impact is that this thing is being investigated. They believe it was a lone wolf actor involved who is in the hospital, detained, so not an active situation, but this crime scene is being poured over, and it is extended beyond where this happened, which was at 17th and I Streets, right outside the Farragut West Metro Station, catty corner from Farragut Square, and on the other side of that, the Farragut North Metro Station. So you've just got a wide area that is blocked off to vehicles. We're in an area where pedestrians can get to, but not beyond here. So we're speaking to people who are trying to get to restaurants that are just a block west of us, but unfortunately they can't go through the crime scene. The couple from D.C. was trying to walk to an event at the Kennedy Center, and it was going to be a much longer walk because of what's happening here. And others just stunned by this act of violence so close to the White House, targeting people in uniform. I mean, anybody who's spent some time here in D.C. and is aware, we have crime in D.C., even though since the federal surge, the president will say there hasn't been a homicide and crime is down, but the mayor will say it's been trending down since the high of 2023. But this kind of crime in this area is just so unusual, and for even those who are not thrilled that the National Guard is here, heartbreaking for the young people who were targeted. And we don't know their ages, their genders, but we do know they were National Guardsmen, Guard members from West Virginia who were not home with their families. As people here, we've seen large families together and others trying to get home to their families. They will tonight at some point, those who are still stranded here. And if you pan off to the right here, Doug, you can see there are just still some people here kind of like at the crime scene tape, wondering where they can go and how they can get home. But they will get home tonight. There are a couple of people from West Virginia, citizen soldiers, who will not.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the heartbreak.
Sun is shining, it's a beautiful day. Wake up, sleepyhead, get up and play.
Make every day brighter with the sunny southern goodness of Mayfield Dairy.
Oh my gosh, those
Ground.
freaking ads.
That suspect now also injured at a local hospital. The guardsmen, we are waiting to get an update on their condition. There was some confusion earlier in the day as to what's going on with them. Again, latest we have heard, they are in critical condition tonight. But again, a devastating scene that is playing out. You can see hours later the scene that it looks like right now in the streets of D.C. with a massive police presence. So many different law enforcement agencies will be involved in this, but
It's
FBI
ridiculous.
Director Kash Patel saying
This
that
whole
is gonna
thing
be
is fucking
a lead
ridiculous.
from the federal agency because they see this as an assault on a federal law enforcement officer. Let's listen to him.
The reason that this suspect is in custody is because of the bravery of the men and women of the National Guard who responded due to their extensive training to secure American lives today. There was not any further injury and any further shootings. We should highlight the fact that the men and women of law enforcement, the interagency, the Department of War, and the National Guard executed their training with great precision today and prevented an even greater tragedy.
And that's FBI Director Kash Patel. We also know Mayor Muriel Bowser has been in contact with U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, as well as D.C. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, saying they will prosecute this suspected shooter to the fullest extent of the law. At this point, we do not have an identity of that shooter. Name, age, not even a gender has been revealed at this hour.
Yeah, there is a
4 hours
fucking
after
gender.
the shooting happened.
Haji.
We do know that that person was taken down by National Guard members who are also in the area. And if you've seen
Apparently.
them walking around D.C., you typically see them traveling in pairs or packs of several of them, walking through the metro stations, walking
This
along
guy right
the
here.
National Mall. Again, we have seen them going on 4+ months now.
This guy right
More
here
than 2,000
apparently
National
is the
Guard
guy that
members
shot
on
the
district streets.
two National
Whether you
Guard
agree with them being here
members.
or whether you don't, they have become sort of the fabric of D.C. now, as their presence has been very well known. And these two particular Guards members who were shot were doing a high visibility patrol in that area. Again, just a couple of blocks away from the White House. So let's go back out, back out live now to our Julie Donaldson, who has been on scene just minutes really after all of this broke.
And it
Julie?
was targeted. You can guarantee it was targeted.
Yeah, Homo, we were supposed to be celebrating tonight Alex Ovechkin scoring 900 goals. We were down at Cap One Arena and getting ready for that and talking to some of his teammates and a ceremony that was being taken place. This is also a time where people want to celebrate the holidays. There's supposed to be a lot of positivity on today, and we get the call that there is a shooting and there was an active shooter down here, and we get here as fast as we can. We get here about 45 minutes after that shooting took place, which was approximately around 2:15, according to witnesses that we talked to. We got here basically right at 3 o'clock, and already this street behind me was lined with police cars, flashing lights all the way up and down the street on both sides of it. It was such a heavy presence of police. There were cars that were marked, so many cars that were not marked. As we know, this is a investigation between so many different departments coming together to figure this one out and try to figure out exactly what did happen. Of course, we've had more details from that, but as I talked to a lot of different witnesses today, there were some different accounts on how many were injured and just what were the extent of those injuries. Some people didn't want to go on camera because they were so disturbed from what they saw and what had taken place, but we did talk to some, and here's their account.
I was walking to lunch and it got to 17th and I Street, and we heard gunshots. So we ran about 4 or 5 storefronts down I Street. Then we kind of thought maybe it was construction. Then we heard another round of gunshots, probably like 10 seconds later, maybe even less. So we ran a little bit further. Then, after that, like a minute after that, a lot of people thought it was construction. So, like a lot of security people are out in the street.
Okay,
So
I
went
keep
back
getting
to
conflicting
get my
reports
lunch
that
and witnessed
the two
they had one person pinned down and yelling at him to stay down, and then there were 2 National Guards on the ground. One, it looked like they were trying to resuscitate, and then there were a couple National Guard that were hugging each other that were obviously very upset about what had happened.
Of course.
As some of the witnesses I talked to were very disturbed on the events that they did see.
All right, I'll be
Since
back.
then,
I
we've
gotta
talked
use
to
the
a lot of
bathroom
people
again.
that are just trying to get out of work. Their places went into lockdown. They've been in there all afternoon. Again, this was around 2:15 this afternoon. Places went into lockdown pretty early. So here we are a couple hours later. We've even had some folks that are trying to get to their car and trying to ask police, can they be able to get to that so they can get home to their families and be able to hug the ones that they're with. As we know, some tonight are not, from this devastating news of these National Guardsmen that are in the hospital and fighting for their lives. For all that we know, is we're just continuing to get more information from this. Now, I want to give you a little bit of the scene, because when we first got here, again, we were on 17th Street. We got pushed back to 16th. But I want Brian Gregg to kind of show you a little bit of where we are right now. There were dozens and dozens of media. It's starting to clear out a little bit as the evening does carry on, but you can already tell just how many people are still out here, all of them trying to gather as much information as they can on just what was happening here tonight. And it continues all the way down the other side. It has just been a lot of, people trying to go through what they are hearing, talk to people that are coming out, trying to gather as much information as we can. But as the severity of the injuries to the National Guardsmen has gone on, you could feel it being a little bit heavier. When we first got here, there's a lot of people out here for the holidays walking around. We talked to people from Georgia. We talked to people from Florida that were just up here trying to enjoy a birthday, trying to enjoy Thanksgiving. And this comes and disrupts and disturbs their day. There's a lot of curiosity earlier. Now that you know the severity of it, it's a little bit heavier, I will say, definitely out here. Never want to have any of this news at all. But people have like a little bit more of a somber feeling about them, realizing just the severity of what took place here tonight. Ladies.
Yeah, Julie, thank you. I mean, this is supposed to be a joyous time, right? This is the holiday lights are up. People are getting ready for their Thanksgiving meals with their families. Families are getting together, that last-minute holiday rush. And to see this kind of play out in the streets, and not only to see the chaos, but also the amount of law enforcement that have now been deployed to handle this situation tonight and leading into tomorrow and the days to come, and all the families impacted by this. And the National Guardsmen, just last week, a federal judge said that the National Guard troops here in D.C. were unlawful. And now the president is hoping to get an emergency appeal in place so that they can bring another 500 National Guardsmen to our area, not only for safety in the streets, but again, these are National Guardsmen who are volunteers, typically have civilian jobs, typically don't have law enforcement backgrounds. So if you kind of couple that with just what's happening throughout the streets of D.C. now, it's quite the scene to see what's going to happen after Thanksgiving.
And we have seen this, unfold before our eyes, and we keep coming back to this, that it is Thanksgiving Eve. So many people are, either in the district to visit family. They've come back home. There are tourists there. People are still working. It is Wednesday, so people were still in that area working. And we heard about 4:45 from FBI Director Kash Patel, who says the FBI is going to take the lead on this, and from MPD's executive chief, and from Mayor Muriel Bowser, who was saying this is a targeted attack. Let's take a listen to her.
We join with the FBI director in ensuring that MPD investigates, the U.S. attorney prosecutes this case to the fullest extent of the law. This is a targeted shooting. One individual who appeared to target these guardsmen, that individual has been taken into custody.
And again, as we take a live picture right now in Northwest D.C., you could see all those flashing lights as a huge law enforcement presence take us over the streets of D.C., just blocks from the Capitol. Our coverage of this shooting in D.C. continues on the 6th. Stay with us.
Okay. Fox 5
And we
DC
see
has
this
been guiding us
massive
through. Okay, it appears we do have a bit of an audio interruption there. We apologize for that. A live look at some of our vantage points. We've got a number of cameras out at the scene. As you've been listening into Fox 5 DC, this is where things stand at this hour. 2 National Guard troops are in critical condition. We did learn from officials moments ago that this was, in fact, a targeted attack. We see some of their reporters getting in line there. We are hearing from Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. He quotes the D.C. police saying both of the National Guardsmen shot near the White House are in critical condition. If you're curious just how close of a proximity we're talking to the White House. That's the shooting scene compared to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Of course, this all happening while President Trump is not at the White House. President Trump is in the Sunshine State. He posted this on Truth Social saying, quote, "The animal that shot the 2 National Guardsmen, with both being critically wounded and now in 2 separate hospitals, is also severely wounded, but regardless, will pay a very steep price. God bless our great National Guard and all of our military and law enforcement. These are truly great people. I, as President of the United States, and everyone associated with the office of the presidency, am with you." We will be checking in with our friends at Fox 5 DC throughout the evening. For now, though, I want to go live to the scene where Fox's Caroline Shively is standing by for us tonight. Caroline, I know you got out there moments after this thing happened. What have you been seeing?
Hi there, Austin. This happened about 2:15 right here in the heart of D.C. We're standing at Farragut Square, popular park here in downtown D.C. Just behind it, you see all of the police light, the crime scene tape. There's a metro stop, a subway, Farragut West back there. We are told by police, the West Virginia National Guard members were standing outside that metro stop when a suspect came around the corner, raised his arm, and shot 2 of these National Guard members from West Virginia with a firearm. Authorities returned fire. The suspect was then shot. The other members of the National Guard were able to subdue that suspect, call authorities, and all 3 were brought to local hospitals. As you mentioned, the 2 officers, the 2 National Guard members, are in critical condition tonight. We don't know the condition of the suspect, although President Trump posting he was also severely wounded. Now, as you mentioned, the location also important. We're just about 2 blocks from the White House. For a time after this went down at 2:15.
All right, sorry about that, guys.
I actually put on lockdown, and in fact,
I hate
across
that
the river
when
is
you got to go
Reagan
use the
National
bathroom.
Airport. That was put on hold. There was a ground stop there as aircraft responded to the shooting. Now, President Trump, as you mentioned, was not in D.C. He is now in Mar-a-Lago in Florida. He is being kept in close detail on this issue.
So, I got some good news today. I mean, this is bad news, but I got some good news today. I finally got my 100% from the VA. So that's always a good thing. That's a good thing, right? Can't believe this shit, man. I really can't believe this shit. Like, I find this shit very disturbing. Very disturbing. We haven't heard anything yet. Here we go. Here we go. Fucking Don Lemon. Don Lemon, you illiterate piece of fucking shit. Don Lemon urged illegals to arm against federal officers hours before guard troops shot. This crap right here, this is why we have these problems. These people right here, this person right here is the reason why we have these fucking problems. These issues, man. Bunch of retarded ass motherfuckers. Straight fucking retard. Rejects from just rejects. Look at him. He looks like a fucking, he's a fucking dumbass is what he is. Fucking reject. Okay, I don't think this is accurate. I think that they put the information out a little bit too soon. Because they're still saying critical condition. There hasn't been an actual, like, anybody say that they're actually passed yet. They're going to fuck around and find out. They're fixing to fuck around and find out. Trump is not going to be playing on this one. I guarantee you, after this little incident right here, that Dems are not going to win the midterms. All because of this little incident right here. Because of these six people, the six people that did this shit, that incited these lies, I guarantee you the Democrats are not going to win the midterms. All because of this. All because of this crap right here. They are responsible. Every last one of those Democrats, all the Democrats are responsible for this shit. They are absolutely 110% responsible. And now there's going to be 500 more National Guards sent to Washington, D.C. after this. This is why. This is why we need National Guard in the big cities. This is why we need to clean up the big cities. We need to clean them up from the top down. Not from the bottom up, from the top down. We need to go in like J.B. Pritzker from the Democrats, the Democrat run states, we need to work from the top down. From the top down. We need to get rid of the top. We cut the head off the snake and work our way down. So, start in Illinois with J.B. Pritzker and the mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, and get those two clowns out and keep working our way down. Start with the head of the snake first. And places like D.C., good God. And start with the damn mayor of D.C. and work our way down from there. We need to start with the damn U.S. senators. U.S. senators. We need to start there. We need to get rid of all the illegal ones first. And the congressmen and women. Get rid of all the illegals first out of there. Then work our way down to the scumbags on the streets that do shit like this. Yeah, this is correct right here. The Democrat mayor of Washington, D.C. specifically said this is saying that targeted the National Guard. They targeted the National Guard. There is no other way. How stupid are you? Like, seriously, how stupid are you to believe the lies that these Democrats tell you? Like, seriously, how stupid are you? They know the motive. They know why this person targeted the National Guard. It's because of the rhetoric. It's the same shit, different day scenario. Al Sharpton says he's against sending in 500 more National Guard following the ambush. Al Sharpton is irrelevant nowadays. He's like one of the house elves. Of course he's not from the DC area. And he's not going to help the police. Why would he? He looks from the photo that I got earlier, he looks Muslim. But I don't know. He looks Muslim. He's got the beard and the dark hair. He definitely looks Muslim, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm so tired of this shit. I really am. I am so tired of politics. So sick and tired of politics. Look at him. Right there. That piece of shit right there. That's the guy. Now, I'm sure that they have plenty of angles that they can play this at. Plenty of angles. And I guarantee you that all these Democrats are going to try to like if these National Guard members, if they're in the hospital, I guarantee you some of these Democrats are going to go try to see them, and the families are going to have something to say about it. I guarantee you they're going to be like, nope, fuck off, Schumer, piece of shit scumbag. If I was there, the motherfucker would have already been dead. If I was one of those National Guard soldiers, I would have shot him in it where he was. I would have shot that motherfucker right there. He would have been dead already. There wouldn't been any of this save his life so he can die by execution later. Oh no. He would have been dead right there on the street. Plain and simple. And all these damn liberals are ready to jump and blame President Trump. But it wasn't President Trump's fault. It was theirs. Why in the hell would I want to follow these people? Like Weiner, Democrat. John Asshat. There's that fat piece of shit right there. All year long. They're right. They're exactly right. The Democrats have spent an entire year demonizing law enforcement officers and ICE agents. One whole freaking year. The whole year. They've been talking about ICE agents and law enforcement officers and our National Guard. And this is why this happened. And they're still doubling down on it. This reminds me of another day. This reminds me of 9/11 almost. Except for it's, I don't know. I had good news that day, and then all of a sudden it went to shit. Yeah, they better not hide the name of the shooter on this one. I want to know all his details. I want to know where he lived. I want to know who his friends are, his family. I want to know about everything. And like I said, he looks like a damn Haji. So they better speak up. And what's so funny is the last few weeks after the Epstein files, after they voted on the Epstein files, we haven't heard anything from that. Not a single thing. We haven't heard a single thing from the Epstein files.
Escalating this by bringing more troops in, by having them stay longer, is going to is not going to de-escalate the situation.
Yeah, there definitely have been growing tensions over this deployment of National Guard troops. We've seen
it may not de-escalate it, but I guarantee you that
earlier,
they're going to
behind them.
Oh
and
my
I know,
goodness.
Chris, as you said, they have a job to. You
we need to do like we did in Fallujah.
You have a job to do if you get those orders.
We need to go through every one of these Democrat cities. We need to go house to house.
But these are people who love their country, as you mentioned.
And we need to get rid of everybody in the city.
That's right. You know, many of these folks
that is illegal.
If they wanted to
each one of these cities, illegal.
The skill set is there,
and
but
criminal.
They didn't.
Everything
so
one.
I
House to
understand
house.
the frustration that
Every
many of
one
these
of
residents feel about this deployment. But the reality is that these folks are here.
Martial
They don't
law.
want to be in D.C. They want to be at home with their kids, with their family members. You know, we've heard instances of members of the National Guard, their family members having serious medical injuries, strokes, for example, and not being able to get home to be with their loved ones. So they're under an enormous amount of stress and pressure, and I empathize with residents of the district who don't like the Guard being here. But the reality is you know, they don't want to be here either, and we just need to figure out a way to make sure that this ends as peacefully as possible.
Chris Purdy, National Guard veteran from Virginia National Guard, also served in Iraq. Thank you for your service, and thank you for joining us tonight and giving us your insight.
Thanks so much.
And our continuing coverage will continue right after this.
Yeah, I don't see AOC on here saying anything.
And it does appear that we're going to have some audio interruptions for a moment. Okay, let's make sure that we mute that. We do have a live look at the scene. We continue to follow along with Fox 5 DC. We've got a number of cameras looking at the scene. Our understanding, by the way, is that Fox 5 DC will be taking a few commercial breaks. We're going to do our best here at Live Now from Fox to dip into their coverage every so often. What I want to start with, while we take control here for a moment, is I want to replay something that we haven't had the opportunity to play in full on our air today yet. Secretary Pete Hegseth speaking earlier today about this tragic situation. Let's play his remarks in full.
Productive meetings, but I want to start by saying after those meetings, myself and my team were notified that 2 National Guardsmen have been shot in Washington, D.C., critically wounded. The shooter shot in a cowardly, dastardly act targeting the best of America, heroes willing to serve in Washington, D.C., serve for people they don't know and they've never met because they love their country and their capital and their community. They were willing to do dangerous things others were not because they love their fellow Americans. Someone decided to turn that into targeting National Guardsmen. That will only stiffen our resolve. We will never back down. We will secure our capital. We will secure our cities. In fact, this happened just steps away from the White House. It will not stand. And that's why President Trump has asked me, and I will ask the Secretary of the Army to the National Guard, to add 500 additional troops, National Guardsmen, to Washington, D.C. This will only stiffen our resolve to ensure that we make Washington, D.C. safe and beautiful. The drop in crime has been historic. The increase in safety and security has been historic. But if criminals want to conduct things like this, violence against America's best, we will never back down. President Trump will never back down. That's why the American people elected him. America and our warriors, our National Guardsmen, are strong. And so we're following this very closely. We're getting information rapidly. I mentioned the faith of this country, the Christian faith, the prayers. I would ask for prayers for our National Guardsmen.
Excuse me, Mr.
Appeals to heaven for our National Guardsmen, for their families, on bended knee as a War Department, as a nation.
Excuse me.
We will never back down.
Excuse
me. Think about them right now.
Venezuela.
We had a couple of great, productive meetings with the President and the Minister of Defense here.
Anyways,
we are dedicated to the counter-cartel effort here. Criminality knows no boundaries, whether it's the United States of America and Washington.
Nobody gives 2 shits about Venezuela. He did it. Yeah. All right, I'm done, guys. I can't do this anymore.